What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk a little bit about Illfonic. So I actually posted this on Twitter yesterday. It came from the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, and I'm going to show you guys the picture, but also kind of read out just so you guys know what we're talking about here. So basically, Illfonic, developers of Friday the 13th, Ghostbusters, Killer Clowns, Predator Hunting Grounds, they posted a survey asking for what horror franchises people are interested in seeing as a game. So they said they posted on their Discord. Curiously, they ask about wanting to see more game content from games they weren't involved in. Not sure what that means. This was also posted by the community manager on the official Killer Clowns game Discord. So this is not like fake. This is, like a legitimate thing floating around. So you can actually see here just one picture. Which horror IP do you want to see as a video game? Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, Terrifier, Dracula, The Thing, Happy Death Day, Final Destination, Halloween, Paranormal Activity, Scream, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Saw, Evil Dead. And I think there was another picture, I don't have it here, but there was another picture where it was, I think, from the games that already exist, right? The games that they've done. Which one would you want to see more content from? So I guess if you want a Ghostbusters 2 or Killer Clowns 2, that's the one you would kind of vote in. But let me tell you something, okay? It's kind of mixed in my mind because I get excited when I see this kind of stuff because look, we've known this from when Sega does these polls or Capcom. These things can legitimately become real. If there's enough people out there that vote on these things, and just generally, by the way, them posting these means they want feedback, means that they have a short list of games that they're looking at and they want feedback. Now, does the feedback 100% drive what they'll do? Obviously not. I mean, we don't live in that world, right? There's still going to be other metrics, I'm sure, at play. If a smaller game gets it, if I'm like The Thing is big, but it's actually really not really big, at least I would say, compare it to something like Halloween, right? If one beats the other, would they still look at their own stuff and say, okay, well, we would feel more comfortable doing a Halloween game versus the Thing game? You know what I mean? I'm not trying to put any of these franchises down. I'm just saying I think there's more to it. So, on a positive, it's okay, well, they're thinking about these, right? This is exciting because you're probably going to get some games on this list. And I mean, specifically for me, Scream immediately jumps out, right? Now, that does lead me to a huge negative that I'll talk about in a second, so I'm going to leave that thought aside. But, Scream, Saw, I think, even Terrifier's freaking blowing up. I don't know how you do a Terrifier game, though, considering age ratings and stuff like that. That would actually be quite difficult. But a lot of these, in fact, Final Destination's an interesting one because how exactly do you do that? But okay, actually, it's hard to ignore the big negative in the room for that long, so let's talk about it. There's been some good asymmetrical games, okay? And actually, I've covered, I think, all of them ever since Friday the 13th. In fact, I covered Friday the 13th. So I do enjoy them. I can enjoy them. I don't enjoy all of them the same way. And yes, they are different to a degree, but I really am getting tired of it. And I would say it's maybe not even necessarily so much me getting tired of it versus me wanting different things. I've pitched the Scream game idea of mine multiple times, but the short and sweet of it is not an asymmetrical game whatsoever. It's not an Among Us type game. It's simply like an Until Dawn game, considering Until Dawn was, they took inspiration from Scream, so did The Quarry, stuff like that, right? The slasher. Do a single player. You can move around characters. Heck, you can play as Ghostface, right? The eventual killer. And you're making decisions. You're taking the phone call. You can choose what to answer. You do quick time events. You keep people alive. You make decisions that change the story. I think Scream works freaking perfectly. And if you hire me for the low price of $0, I'll make that game for you, okay? I really believe that's the game to make. Not asymmetrical. I don't want Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th or Killer Clown. I don't want any of those games for Scream. An Among Us makes sense, right? Because it's a whodunit type thing, okay? So it definitely does line up better for Scream than other games. But I also don't want that. I think there's better, and not just better, but there's also just different. We don't need, go down this list. Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, Terrifier. Do you want all, there's 12 things here. You want all of them to be asymmetrical? And the issue is, that's what they do. They make asymmetrical. Now, they do make them slightly different. Nobody's confusing Ghostbusters from Predator, from Killer Clowns. Killer Clowns captures that Friday the 13th one maybe the best, right? Some of the more well-rounded, Friday the 13th is actually maybe not so well-rounded, but it kind of besides Dead by Daylight, like, it really did the heavy work for everybody else, right? It really showed you can do it. Texas Chainsaw is quite good. Killer Clowns is quite good. I'm not saying there aren't good games and that we can't keep getting them, but for, like, whenever we see a new horror game that comes out and they're always like that, it just gets a little repetitive. I want to see different and I guess, like, yeah, you do have Supermassive, but I guess, okay, well, there you go. You got Supermassive, so you got your choose your own adventure, more like live action type stuff, and then you got asymmetrical horror. That's it. There's no room for any third thing, and they have to fall in those two categories. Now, coincidentally, I think some of these work better as the choose your own adventure versus the asymmetrical one, right? But you think about, okay, well, these companies specialize at a specific thing. Supermassive's not all of a sudden gonna make Texas Chainsaw in the same way that Illfonic is not going to make, Until Dawn or the Quarry 2, right? Like, that's not going to happen. So, I don't know. That's why personally, it's a very mixed bag type thing. Like, I get excited because, again, it shows, okay, well, here's the franchises that they're actively thinking. And I want Happy Death Day. I'm a big Happy Death Day guy. This person didn't even vote for it, so I'm a bit disappointed in them for that. I like a lot of these, and I want to see them as video games, but I think to pigeonhole them and to only do them as asymmetrical, come on, like, we gotta try different things, in my opinion. And I swear to God, if we get a Scream game and it's an asymmetrical, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna play it. I guess I'll be a hypocrite. I'll probably buy it and play it day one anyway. But I really think there's better things we could be doing. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.